All right, here with one of the greats of Australian boxing, Daniel Geale. Daniel, it's been a while since we've sort of heard you in the Australian boxing landscape. Just want to get your thoughts on the scene right now. We've got some great guys, Liam Paro, George Kambosos, Tszyu, Opetaia. Who stands out for you right now? What do you make of the current landscape?
Boxing at the moment is great. I love my boxing, and probably don't get to as much or as many as the fights as I probably should these days. But I hope to start getting to a few more. But obviously we have a lot of talent in Australia, and sometimes it's hard for that talent to get out there and get noticed. But guys like Tim has brought a lot of attention to the sport, and now one of the guys for me that stands out it would be that Opetaia. Very talented, very skillful, very tough as well. So, I love that style. So I hope to see many more things for him to come as well. So yeah.
He's sort of gone overseas and fought in Riyadh season. Do you think that's because in Australia it's hard to get publicity, it's hard to sort of build your name? Do you think that's a good decision for him to fight overseas in London, in Saudi?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You got to get out there. You got to get around, travel a little bit. It's funny, in Australia, it was great. I used to get a little bit of attention off the media when, even when I held my titles. But going to a different country like the US or even in Germany as well, it was different, the amount of attention that you got over in those countries. So it's pretty exciting. We tend not to get it quite as much in Australia, but I think because of the attention from Tim and a few of the other up-and-coming fighters at the moment, it is building a little bit of momentum. And I'd love to see a massive resurgence, because we do have the quality of fighters these days. And if they keep winning and keep winning, especially on the international stage, then it's only going to make it even better for us.
Joe Opetaia is probably our best hope at unifying in a division. I'm pretty sure you're the last Australian to hold a unified title. 10 years ago now? 12 years ago now?
Yeah,
2012?
Yeah, 2012.
How hard is it to unify the division, and what difficulties will Jai face moving forward?
It's extremely huge and very tough to be able to unify titles. Winning one title is a huge thing, especially these days. But to be able to hold on to more than one title, especially with the sanctioning, the rules, within the organisations, and your mandatory defences and things like that, it can be really tricky. I know for myself it was very tricky also. I believe, once I won won the WBA version of the title, I was basically stripped straight afterwards. So I didn't get a chance to enjoy that title as much as I probably would have liked. But that's the rules. That's what they have, and you got to abide by those. Some fighters are able to maintain multiple titles for much longer, but it's a tough game. There's so many fighters in each division, each category, each organisation. So being the best within those, you got to be pretty good.
You mentioned earlier you were a fan of Liam Paro as well. Big fight for him in Puerto Rico next month against Richardson Hitchens. What have you made of his career so far?
Young kid just keeps him better and better. I love to watch him fight. Very skillful, very talented, and he's got a good crew behind him as well that really believe in him. So I think that's a big part of it. I know for myself, having the right team around, having the right coaches and trainers and management, it's massively important.
Tszyu, a disappointing loss for him a couple of weeks ago now against Murtazaliev. What have you made of Tim's evolution? He obviously had that disappointing fight against Fondora. What are your thoughts on all that?
Tim was brought well through, with his early fights. He had the right opponents put in front of him. He did exactly what he needed to do. The only thing, he wasn't tested greatly in a lot of those early fights, and it kind of showed for me in that last fight. It is the thing as well, and I know I was in the same boat. You fight the top guys, you fight the guys that are at the absolute peak, it's always going to be a tough game, and it's even tougher game when you're doing it in a different country. You've got to recover from different time zones, changes, flights, and obviously the media stuff that I mentioned as well. Like you're not used to it in Australia, and when you get over there and you get treated differently, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
What did you make of the Fondora fight? Do you think that has had an impact on Tim, not just physically, but perhaps mentally as well?
I definitely think so. It's unfortunate that a cut would happen like that. But for him to continue through that fight and battle through, losing so much blood and his vision being infected, it's not great for his career. It's not great for his confidence. It's not saying that it's the end for him either. Those are the type of things where you have to reassess, and I guess getting some help from psychologists, sports psychologists, things like that are definitely things that can help with that. There's definitely a way through it, but I think at the moment, it probably did affect him a bit. Yeah.
What does he do now, in your opinion? How does he bounce back? Does he need a couple of sort of easy fights and then sort of build, or what would you advise?
I mean, you say that, but it's tricky. Once you get to that level, no fight can really be that easy. So, you kind of reach a certain level, and people say, oh, you can take an easier fight, but you can't really. You have to be ready to step up each time, and whether the opponent isn't one of the elite fighters, whether they're just a good club fighter or a top club fighter, then you've still got to bring the goods. You still got to do the job, and you still got to look impressive. And if you do drop down a level of fighter and your performance lags in that as well, then obviously that's going to probably be even worse.
You had a tremendous rivalry with Mundine. What do you make of the rivalry between Zerafa and Tszyu? What do you make of that one?
I mean, that's good. It's great for boxing, and I love the attention, the back and forward. It's always good. It would be good for that one to happen, but it's been talked about enough, and over the years there's been lots of fights where things are talked about for years before they actually happen. So I think those days, I guess, are coming to an end, and they probably need to stop. Like if boxing wants to keep coming up and getting better, then guys got to fight each other. No more talking.
What about yourself? Tremendous career, some massive fights, some of the all-time greats that you've fought. What stands out for you as a highlight in your career?
I was lucky. I had a few highlights. The first fight in Germany against Sebastian Sylvester, it was definitely an experience, and it was I guess I had been told that I basically didn't have a chance going over there. Obviously he won a few of his fights, his title defenses on split close decisions, and if I go decision, there's no chance I'm not going to be able to get it. So I guess that gave me motivation. It's like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong, and so I got to the gym and I trained my butt off, and I backed myself the whole way. Not only did I back myself, but I backed my team. And again, I think that's something that gives you that little bit of extra confidence when you go into a fight, knowing you've covered all the bases. I had great promoters, I had great managers, coaches, everything was set in place. I knew all I had to do was go out there and do my job. It was just kind of basically the same for the second one as well, where obviously going back to Germany for the unification bout, I had people telling me that I'm going over there to give my IBF title to the German guy, but deep down I knew that wasn't the case.
What about those two fights with Mundine? How do you look back on those? Those were massive moments in domestic boxing here in Australia.
Yeah, they were great. The first one, I still enjoy watching that fight a bit. It is pretty fun for me. The first one, he fought well in that fight, and that was for me. That was my kind of my step up onto the bigger stage. I knew it was the perfect moment for me as well. So, obviously I didn't win that one, but that didn't deter me at all. If anything, it motivated me even more. And come up to the second fight, which kind of made me laugh a little bit, because the first fight had to tempt him to fight me by holding the IBO world title. And then he didn't want to fight me after that. And then I got the IBF title and he put his hand straight up. So I was like, I got to have a title if he wants to fight me. But that was fine. I was like extremely confident going into the second fight, and I knew I'd been on many different levels, fighting in different countries, fighting against different opponents, as well as improving the whole way through. So I knew that second fight was definitely going to go my way, and I was confident.
What about those big fights in the States? Not the result you wanted, but some massive moments for you.
Yeah, they were huge. I mean, I was obviously lucky enough to fight in Madison Square Garden, which, growing up, like it's a place that, everybody spoke about, everybody talks about. The great fighters fought there, and even when I was there, like to be able to walk through the halls underground and seeing the old original photos on the wall of like Ali and Liston, and it was kind of gave me goosebumps just walking through the place. It was pretty awesome. But it wasn't the decisions. It wasn't the way that I wanted the fights to go. But I guess that's boxing. When you fight the elite guys, maybe preparation, maybe whatever. But when it doesn't go your way, you just sort of take it on the chin and keep going.
And last one, who do you see as the top guys in the sport at the moment? Who are your sort of top three pound for pound?
I think Timmy's definitely still in there. He's not out. He's not. You can't leave him behind. You got Jai and Liam. I think the other two guys, they're definitely ones to be watching for, and hopefully they can get the attention and get enough media that they deserve, so they can I guess drive the money, drive their price up, so they can get the fights with the big fighters around the world.
What about globally? Guys like Usyk, Crawford, in a way. How do you sort of see that landscape?
I mean, there's so many great fighters out there, and in the different weight divisions as well. I think we were just talking about it earlier, like the Betbiev and Bivol fight. Man, that was awesome, and having two like massive names, especially Betbiev with all knockouts up to that fight. It's a pretty impressive record. But we have many. There's just so many great fights out there, and fingers crossed for boxing's sake anyway that we keep getting those quality fights, and hopefully as well, people support them. There's a lot of stuff. I know Tyson's coming up pretty soon. There's a lot of media attention around that, and that's kind of easy for the media to get around that. But I'd love to see people get around the athletes doing it tough, and the athletes that need the support.
Nice one. Appreciate it, mate.
Awesome. Thank you.